Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into the proposed economic relief payments that have been making headlines recently. I've been getting hundreds of messages asking about eligibility, timing, and whether this is actually going to happen, so let's break down everything we know right now. This isn't the first time we've heard about direct payments to Americans this year. In fact, this marks the fourth major proposal for some form of economic relief in 2025 alone. Whether you want to call it a stimulus check, a tax rebate, or a revenue dividend, the concept remains the same, putting money directly into the pockets of everyday Americans. Now, I want to be completely transparent with you from the start. There are still many unanswered questions surrounding this proposal. The details are evolving, and not everything has been finalized. But I know many of you are struggling financially and need concrete information, so I'm going to share everything that's been officially stated and help you understand what this could mean for you. Let's start with the basics. The proposed payment amount being discussed is up to $2,000 per individual. This money would theoretically come from tariff revenues that have been collected over recent months. The administration has framed this as essentially sharing profits from international trade policies with the American people. Here's what's been stated officially. These payments would be targeted toward low and middle income Americans. High earners would not be included in this program. That's been made clear from the very first announcement back in early November. When we look at the timeline, officials have mentioned a target time frame somewhere around the middle of next year. Now, I know that might sound far away, and many of you need help right now, not 6 or 8 months from now. We'll talk more about the realistic timeline in just a moment, but don't lose hope just yet. The key thing to understand is this: economic conditions can change rapidly. What's proposed for the middle of next year could absolutely be accelerated if economic circumstances warrant it. We've seen this happen before during previous economic downturns when relief payments were expedited. This is probably the question I get asked most frequently, so let's spend some time here because it's crucial. Here's what you need to understand above everything else. Eligibility will be determined almost entirely by your income level. That's it. Not your employment status, not whether you file taxes, not your age, not your occupation. Your income is what matters. Based on previous relief programs and what's been indicated so far, here's what we're looking at. Single filers. If you earn under approximately $75,000 per year, you would likely qualify for the full amount married couples. If your combined household income is under $150,000 per year, you'd likely qualify for the full amount phase-out range. There may be a phase-out period where benefits gradually decrease up to a certain cap, possibly around $100,000 for individuals. These numbers aren't set in stone yet, but they're based on historical precedent and the stated goal of targeting middle and low-income Americans. Let me address some specific questions I keep receiving. Do I need to be working? No. Your income level matters, not whether you're currently employed. Do I need to file a tax return? Generally, having a tax return on file helps the system identify and pay you, but previous programs have accommodated non-filers. What if I receive Social Security? Social Security recipients would absolutely be included, provided their total income falls within the qualifying range. What about SSDI recipients? Yes, individuals receiving Social Security disability insurance would be eligible based on their income level. SSI recipients, Supplemental Security Income recipients would also qualify. VA benefits, veterans receiving benefits would be included in the program. Retirees and seniors, absolutely eligible, regardless of age if income qualifies. People with disabilities, yes, eligible based on income, not disability status. What if I have no income? Individuals with little to no income would likely be among the primary beneficiaries, as this program targets lower-income Americans. I cannot stress this enough. There is no legitimate reason why any of these groups would be excluded. The eligibility is income-based, period. If you're in one of these categories and your income falls within the guidelines, you should receive payment. Now let's talk about when this could actually happen, because the official timeline of middle of next year doesn't tell the whole story. Best case scenario. Window. Based on political and economic realities, here's my analysis. The window of highest probability for these payments runs from right now through November of next year. Why November specifically? That's when the midterm elections occur. Historically, major economic relief measures happen either during economic crises or during politically advantageous periods. If this program is going to be implemented, the period leading up to the midterm elections represents the most likely time frame. Economic triggers that could accelerate payment. Several factors could push these payments to happen sooner rather than later. Economic slowdown. If economic indicators show significant weakness, relief could be expedited. Rising unemployment, sharp increases in jobless claims often trigger quick policy responses. Consumer spending decline. If retail numbers drop significantly, stimulus becomes more urgent. Market volatility. Major market disruptions could necessitate immediate action. Political pressure. Public demand and advocacy can influence timing after November 2026. If we don't see these payments by the midterm elections and there isn't a significant economic downturn, the likelihood decreases substantially. Not impossible, but historically less probable. However, if a major recession hits after that point, you can almost guarantee stimulus payments would be implemented regardless of the political calendar. Let's be honest about what we don't know yet. These are critical details that haven't been finalized. Payment processing questions. Will payments be garnished for back child support? What about other government debts? How will adult dependents be handled? Will there be separate amounts for dependents? What verification process will be required? Eligibility nuances. The exact income thresholds. Whether income will be based on 2024 or 2025 tax returns, how recent immigrants with limited tax history will be processed, treatment of mixed status households, specifics for individuals who've recently changed income levels, distribution mechanics. Will payment be direct deposit, check, or debit card? How will the system handle outdated banking information? What happens if people have moved? Will there be a registration portal like previous programs? These details matter, and they'll significantly impact how smoothly the program rolls out. We'll need to wait for official guidance on these points. Let's put this in perspective. Based on income distribution data from recent years, approximately 80% or more of American adults would fall within the income thresholds being discussed. That's a massive portion of the population. We're talking about over 200 million potential recipients, billions of dollars in total economic stimulus, significant boost to consumer spending, potential ripple effects throughout the economy. For many families, $2,000 represents 1 to 2 months of rent, catching up on utility bills, emergency car repairs, paying down credit card debt, building a small emergency fund covering medical expenses. The economic impact of putting this amount of money into the hands of consumers simultaneously would be substantial. It's worth remembering that direct payments to Americans aren't unprecedented. Let's look at recent history. 2020 to 2021 stimulus payments. Round 1, up to $1,200 per adult. Round 2, up to $600 per adult. Round 3, up to $1,400 per adult. Those programs proved that the government can distribute payments to over 160 million people relatively efficiently. The infrastructure exists. The precedent exists. The main question is political will and economic justification. What worked before? Direct deposit was fastest and most efficient. The IRS portal allowed people to update information. Non-filers could register online payments, typically started within 2 to 3 weeks of authorization. What were the challenges? Some people with outdated information experienced delays. Paper checks took significantly longer. Customer service was overwhelmed with questions. Some qualifying individuals were initially missed. While we wait for more concrete information, here are practical steps you can take. 1. Ensure your information is current. File your 2024 tax return when able, even if not required. Keep your address updated with the IRS. Maintain current banking information for direct deposit. Keep documentation of your income level. 2. Stay informed. Through reliable sources, monitor official government announcements. Be wary of scams claiming to offer early registration. Don't give personal information to unofficial websites. Follow verified news sources for updates. 3. Prepare financially. Don't rely on this money until it's confirmed and scheduled. Make current financial decisions based on your existing situation. If payments arrive, have a plan for best use of funds. Consider essential needs first: housing, food, utilities, healthcare. 4. Understand your rights. Know that you cannot be charged a fee to receive stimulus payments. Legitimate government payments never require upfront payment. The IRS will not call or email requesting verification for stimulus report suspected scams to appropriate authorities. Let me be straight with you about managing expectations. What's likely? Some form of targeted economic relief will probably happen. It will be income-based with clear qualifying thresholds. The amount may be negotiated and could change. Implementation will take time once approved. What's uncertain? The exact timing remains fluid. Final payment amounts could be adjusted. Eligibility criteria might be refined. The funding mechanism could be modified. What you should remember: proposals don't always become reality. Economic conditions will influence outcomes. Political factors play a significant role. Multiple rounds of discussion may occur before final approval. I'm not trying to be pessimistic, just realistic. Hope for the best, but plan based on your current circumstances. Here's the bottom line: there is a genuine proposal on the table for $2,000 payments to low and middle income Americans. The administration has discussed it multiple times. The framework exists from previous programs. The primary questions are timing and final details. If you're someone whose household income is under $75,000 individually or $150,000 jointly, and you've been stressed about whether you'd qualify, you can breathe a little easier. Based on everything that's been stated, you would be in the target demographic. For those receiving Social Security, disability benefits, veterans benefits, or living on limited fixed incomes, you are not being forgotten. The emphasis on low and middle income specifically includes you. Your concerns about exclusion are understandable given past experiences, but the stated intent is clear. Now, will this definitely happen? I can't promise you that. Will it happen on the exact timeline mentioned? That's uncertain. Could the amount or eligibility change? Possibly, but is there a real proposal being seriously discussed? Yes, absolutely. My advice is to stay informed but not obsessed. Check for updates periodically, but don't put your life on hold waiting. Make the best financial decisions you can with your current resources, and if this relief arrives, it will be a welcome boost. I'll be monitoring this situation closely and will provide updates as new information becomes available. If there are significant developments, I'll get that information to you quickly. Thank you for watching this detailed breakdown. I know this is a topic that affects millions of people directly, and getting accurate information matters. If you found this helpful, please share it with others who might have the same questions. Remember, your income level is what determines eligibility. If you're in the target range, there's no legitimate reason you'd be excluded. Stay patient, stay informed, and stay hopeful but realistic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next update.